People just don't buy what you are selling, whether it's a product or service. They're actually buying the result that they're going to get from your product or service. But why is it so many talented entrepreneurs and small business owners and creatives, they have a hard time connecting with their clients? Maybe it's because what the clients are hearing is not what you're saying. You see, every time that you go to explain what you do, what you have to offer, it just comes across as confusing or even forgettable. That's the worst. But what is it that you are supposed to do? Maybe you've been told, just share your story and people will automatically connect. But that's really not enough. There's still something missing. There's still something that is confusing to your clients. And here's the truth. If your message is messy, it's not going to connect with your clients. Stop confusing your clients. Listen, it's not because of your skill set, it's because of your message. In this episode, I'm going to break down a simple formula to help you take your messy message into a clear communication that connects. I'm going to unpack a simple formula that you can use today that will help you really communicate what you want to say, and people are going to understand it and they're going to say, yes, that's what I need. So here is a simple example. I actually have two examples that I want to share with you. So there is a law firm that is wanting to advertise, and they've been in business for a while. They've got some great people on their team, and they want to go ahead and commit and really convey their message to the audience, which is, in their local community, that they're here and they're ready to help, specifically to small businesses. So they come up with some talking points, and maybe you have seen some of these kinds of talking points being used in like a mailer or maybe on a billboard or something like that. But they'll have something like comprehensive legal services, experienced reputation, customized customer plans. Well, those all sound great, and they are probably all true, and all of those things matter, but does it really matter to the client at the start? Maybe after they get to know you, they can come to understand what all of those are, but at the beginning, those make sense to the business, but they don't make sense to the audience. So when it says comprehensive legal services, experienced reputation, customized customer plans, well, how can you reframe all of that to say it in a lot clearer method, in a lot clearer way to attract clients and help them to understand? So here is my suggestion. By taking all of those things, what the desire is, and reducing it to a clear one-line statement. So something like this: we help small business owners stay legally protected so they can grow with confidence. Do you hear all of the differences there? Going from a comprehensive, customized plan to something that is, we help protect your business so that you can grow. Okay, wow, that makes so much more sense, and it's easier for the clients to understand. Let me give you another one. So let's say there's a lawn care company, and maybe, again, you've seen flyers, maybe you've seen some vinyl wraps on a trailer, behind a truck for lawn care companies, and there's some great lawn care companies. And they hit a lot of the same things. After a while, you probably see the same kinds of things on all of these trucks or trailers that they have, or the flyers that you get in the mail. They all kind of sound the same. And it's things like residential and commercial lawn care. Okay, that helps to identify who their audience is. It's pretty broad, but residential and commercial lawn care, satisfaction guaranteed. And I can tell you, that statement is probably coming from a place deep inside of the lawn care company, is that they actually care about their clients and they want to give them that assurance that the services that they provide are going to be guaranteed. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. And then licensed and insured. That is, again, another high value for that business to communicate that they are licensed and insured. Again, trying to let the customer know we've got it under control. We can give you a satisfaction guarantee, and we are protected, again, with this license and insured. Okay, all of those, again, may be true, but is it really connecting? When it says licensed and insured, how is that helping me fix my problem? Again, it may be true, but I don't necessarily see that connection that clearly right from the start. So here is my suggested one-liner. We keep your lawn healthy and your weekends free. But isn't that it? Isn't that what the client wants? They want a green lawn. They want to be able to have somebody take care of it that knows what they're doing. That's the end result. And the extra benefit is I don't have to worry about it. My weekend is now free again. And that's what this statement says. It doesn't get into all of those details right at the front. Again, those details are important, but this is saying I want to keep, or I can give you a green lawn that's healthy, and your weekend, that belongs back to you. I'll take care of it. Such a clear message in that statement. So how do we put this together? How do we actually come up with a one-line statement for our business? Whether you are a chiropractor, whether you are a lawn care service, whether you are selling products on Etsy, all of these things can be put together. All of these different kinds of products and services can actually be put together into a framework where you have a single statement that clarifies your message. So here's what it looks like. We have to go back to the truth. And the truth is that people don't pay for just your product or service. They actually pay for the result. They actually pay for the result that they believe you can give them. That's what it's all about. People have a problem and they're trying to solve that problem, and they're looking to you to see if the result that you can deliver is going to be the right fit for them. But if we make that communication of what our result is, they're just going to probably move on to somebody else where it does make sense and it's a lot clearer for them to understand what that result is, that solution is. So people just don't pay for your product or service. They pay for the result that you can give them. So here is the framework that I'm going to share with you. And there's 3 pieces that we have to know in order to put it into a little template. And I'm going to give you that template to where you can actually put this into practice today. So our one-liner framework, there's 3 parts. The very first part is the client. Who do you help? Who is that client? You have to know the who in order to know how to communicate to them. So take some time and define who the client is. What are they struggling with? Where are they at? What are their interests? All of those things. What are their beliefs? All of those things can come in to help you give that client profile. The next one is the problem. Okay, so now that you have identified who the client is, there is a problem. There's something that they are struggling with. Every time we go to buy something, it's to help fix a problem that we have. It could be something that's urgent, like a leaky pipe that's burst into our home, or it could be something that helps satisfy a nostalgic memory that they had growing up. Whatever the reason is, there's a problem, there's something inside that we have to satisfy. So what is that? What is that struggle? What's that pain point that your client is experiencing? That's where your solution comes in to help them alleviate that struggle. And then what's the result? What is that transformation? What is that payoff? And that is what we really want to focus on, because after we get to the place where we can say, hey, I have a solution for your problem, and this is what the payoff is going to be. This is what the transformation is going to be that you can expect because of my solution. When we have all three of these pieces, now our message starts to get clear. So here's the template that I want to share with you, and you can do this today. Here it is. I help a specific client, whoever that client is. For the law firm, it was the small business owner. I help small business owners with their legal problems. So this is the template. I help whoever our specific client is with whatever specific problem that they have. Now, here's where you can get hung up a little bit. Yes, your clients may have multiple problems, but where do you start? Start with the most urgent. Start with the biggest one. And if you have a hard time figuring out even that, start with the one that you can solve for the best profit margin, the most profitable solution. That's the problem that you want to start with. So your specific client, your specific problem, so they can achieve a specific result, a specific outcome. What is that payoff? Once you have all three of those components, you can plug it into this template, and now you have something that you can market to the masses really with this simple message. Of course, you can tweak it as you go, but now you are clarifying your message and stop confusing your clients. If your message is unclear, your clients are going to move on. But if you come up with a clear one-line description, one-line statement, that's actually going to build trust, and people are going to be able to understand it clearly and open the door to having that connection with each other. Once you do that, you're automatically going to start building trust, because the person is going to understand you better, and that's really going to open the door for them to make a connection with you. Now, if you want a free resource, I've got one for you. There's a link in the description below where you can get my free resource, that free template, that free formula of how to put together your one-line statement. And I've actually got some business examples to help you kind of get a better idea and maybe some inspiration on how to craft your one-line statement. What if I offer multiple services to different kinds of client? Okay, this is where you want to start with the one that you want to serve the most. Clear that message for that group. So identify that one pain point, that one problem. You're going to have to narrow it down and create that single statement for that one problem. Now, if you are wanting to address other problems, don't worry about it. Go ahead and create a different variation for each one of those extra problems that you have. But really, it comes down to clarity comes when you have focus. I already have a tagline. Isn't that enough? Well, a tagline is great for branding, but if your tagline is not really sharing and really bringing clarity to what you are doing, what your product or service is, so it could come across as confusing. I mean, if somebody were to ask you, so what do you do? And you say, we inspire people to be the best. Okay, I'm not really sure how that immediately connects with me, but if you redefine your statement, again, a one-liner is not a branding slogan. It's really a clarity statement for you to connect to your clients. And again, to open that door for deeper communication. What if my service is hard to explain? This is exactly why you want to have a one-line statement, because if you are having a hard time explaining what you do, certainly your clients, your customers, they're going to have a hard time understanding what you do. And then you've missed it. They've missed it. They've missed that connection, and it's probably going to affect your bottom line. So I'm not a copywriter. How do I know if I write down or what I wrote is right? Well, this is where you get to explore a little bit. Go ahead and find a trusted friend, a relative, or somebody in your trusted circle of friends, and ask them, does this make sense to you? Go ahead and craft your statement, and then go ahead and ask them for some feedback and ask them, does this make sense of what I do and what I sell, my products or services? Does this make sense to somebody that would be in my audience? What if my one-liner sounds too basic? That's the goal. You want to bring everything down. You want to distill everything down into one statement so that it's clear. Boring is clear. Don't get hung up on like, well, there's so much more that I want to say. Say it succinctly. Say it simply so your customer can understand. Then you can start sharing more about who you are a little bit later after that conversation and that connection has started. Can I use this on my website? Of course you can. You will want to. You want to put this one-liner, this one phrase, this one statement everywhere that you can, everywhere that you market yourself, that you promote yourself. You want to put this wherever you are, have a chance to communicate with somebody. Let this be an anchor for your messaging. Is this really going to make a difference? 100% this will make a difference, because again, we're taking something messy that's confusing and we're clarifying. How nice is it to be able to understand what somebody is saying to you? And that's what this message is. It cuts through the noise, it cuts through the confusion, and gets right to your clients. What if I'm brand new and I'm still figuring out my niche? I totally get it. Everybody is going to start from zero, and that's okay. Maybe you're new, maybe you've been doing this for a little bit, maybe for a few years, and maybe you can still consider yourself new. But what the beauty of this is that you can clarify as you go. As you make these connections, and after you get some feedback from clients and you get a little bit more understanding, you can go back in and make those tweaks as you need to. And this is where you can help redefine and refocus and resharpen your message so that it's just that much more powerful. How do I make mine sound different from everyone else? Okay, don't worry about sounding different. Just worry about sounding clear. Let me say that again. Don't worry about sounding different. Worry about sounding clear. Don't get hung up on special terms or jargon or slang that's part of your industry. Simplify. Bring it back down to something that is very clear and there's no confusion. That's where you want to start, and that will naturally serve you as you communicate. Hey, I hope all of this helped, and let me know down in the comments below if you have actually started to put this into practice. So until next time, keep creating with clarity and purpose.